Next topic on the table, we're talking about the World Series Hero, the special edition of our podcast.
Yeah, well, and this was the big story. I mean, you talked about it with Yordan Alvarez and the big home run. How did Rob Thomson handle that critical move?
You know, in the past group of podcasts, we've talked about the Phillies manager managing by the book, managing by the gut. What do you do? And he kept yanking his pitchers out, despite the fact they were doing pretty well. I thought he overworked the bullpen, and I totally disagreed when he went out and he yanked that starting pitcher out of that last World Series game because Zack Wheeler was dominant. His last two pitches were 97, 98, and he still pulled them. Now, granted, there were two guys on base, but he went to an overworked bullpen that he had done multiple times during the course of the playoffs. I thought it nearly killed him in the Padres series with his use day after day of the bullpen and yanking starters out early. The victory will be felt in Houston for a long time. This pain in Philadelphia probably has to be felt for a while too, because I would have stayed with Wheeler as long as I could have stayed with Wheeler because he was still dealing. But, you know, to go to Alvarado early as he did, then, you know, you got Dominguez, who I thought was overused. I just think Rob Thomson made a mistake. And it was obvious to me that they did not get a lot of response from their batting order. Aside from the bombs from Schwarber and the occasional home run from Bryce Harper, nobody really hit in Philadelphia with any regularity at all. And even at home, where at one point they were hitting 282 in the postseason at Citizens Bank Ballpark, they stopped hitting. So a lot of credit to the Houston Astros pitchers. They kind of choked off that Philadelphia lineup, but mishandling the pitching staff, at least that's one man's opinion.
One man's opinion. But, you know, it's interesting how when they get into the postseason, you wonder if these managers are over-managing, right? And we saw a little bit about that with Dave Roberts in previous postseasons. We saw that even with the manager with the Rays when they pulled Snell out of the World Series when he was lighting it up for 5 innings. So I wonder if when they change their strategy, that sort of changes the dynamics, maybe a little bit of the mojo in the bullpen and in the dugout.
So the question is, do you manage by your gut or do you manage by analytics? I mean, we want to push this topic on the table. Padres, who was pitching to Bryce Harper in that last playoff game? Mm-hmm. Should it have been Suarez? Could it have been? Might have been? Maybe should have been Josh Hader? I mean, all these managers, to me, are making all these mistakes at the most important time of the year, no? Or am I just second guessing?
Well, it is. It's a critical time, and the spotlight is on these guys. But sometimes I think when they start managing differently in the postseason, you lose that kind of flow and that rhythm, and it sort of changes the dynamics. It puts their players on edge in slightly uncomfortable positions, and it can blow up on them.
Pretty good season by Dave Dombrowski and the roster they put together in Philadelphia. I do think that guy made a mistake handling pitching. Next topic on the table.